The government has announced details of how it's going to spend £850 million of funding for special educational needs and disabilities and alternative provision in schools in England.
You might remember last week we were reporting that figures released showed that around two-thirds of special schools in England were at or were over capacity. But the government says this money will provide 60,000 additional places. Let's speak live now to the Education Secretary, Gillian. Keegan, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Can we just be really clear then? So is this genuinely new money that we've not heard about before, or is this money that you've told us about before and you're announcing today how it's going to be spent?
It's £2.6 billion in total, but the £850 million we're announcing today is the last tranche of that on a whole load of new free schools, because, as you say, we know that there's demand and there's pressure on the system, and what we've been trying to do is to build more places, so 60,000 more places, which is a massive increase, actually, and should meet a lot of the demand, most of the demand that we're aware of. And that's actually in stark contrast, because under the last Labour government, we actually decreased special educational needs places. So this should make a real big difference to everybody and all those parents out there waiting for the right school place. It'll take us a bit of time to build them. Some of them are already built. Some of them we've still obviously got to build, the ones we're announcing today. But it is a huge investment, and it's because we really do want to make sure that we have the right provision for kids with special educational needs.
But going back to my question, this money is coming out of the funds you'd already announced, right?
2.6 billion is the total, which will get us the 60,000 places. This 850 million is the last tranche of that, and that is to build a whole load of new free schools all across and add capacity all across the country. OK,
so it's not new money, but clearly you say it's going to make a big difference. I just wonder when it will make a difference to the families who are getting ready for school this morning, who are watching, who desperately need special needs provisions for their kids and their grandkids. Surely it's going to be years before these schools are built, these places are created.
Well, some of them we're already doing, so there's some that are already doing. So there's a lot that are on, we've been doing this steadily for the last few years. So we've built more mainstream provision, special educational needs support in mainstream, but these are specialist provision schools. But one of the things that we're trying to do is to increase the overall places by 60,000, which is a really big increase. But one of the things that people don't know, and a lot of your listeners may not know, is about 38% of the provision in special educational needs is actually small independent private schools, the same private schools that are going to get whacked with a 20% education tax, which is why we've been trying to say this could be very damaging to, actually to reduce the number of places if they took that policy all the way through.
We just mentioned, though, that those figures, government's own figures last week, were saying that two-thirds of special schools in England, existing special schools, are already at capacity or over capacity, a shortage of places. So these 60,000 new places, I just reassure parents, when will those 60,000 new places come into effect?
Well, we'll be doing them all the time. So there's new schools coming on all the time. I mean, obviously, to build a new school, complete new school, takes about 2 to 3 years. So some of these will already have sites. Some of them won't have sites. Some of them will have trusts. Most of them have trusts allocated, and we'll be building them out. But actually, we've also already built, 90 odd that we've already been building as well. So you will find some of them. I mean, in my own area, I've already got a special educational need school which has been announced, which is being built, but is not yet available. So they'll be coming on stream all the time. But the 60,000 new places, we've done more than any other government to build our special educational needs provision. We're also training more educational psychologists, 7,000 more SENCOs. So we're doing a lot, and also making sure that the NHS and others are working with schools to help train teachers how to spot certain special educational needs and how to also support children, so we don't have to go through such a tough system to get for parents to get the support that people need. So, there's a lot of work going on to improve this, because we really do care to get the right provision for these children.
At the same time, only last week, 30 MPs from all parties, including your own, wrote a letter to the Chancellor saying an awful lot more is required. 4.6 billion extra support for special needs required every single year. And what you're announcing today doesn't come close to that.
Well, in addition, we've also increased the high needs budget. So it's gone up to £10.5 billion, which is a 60% increase over the last 5 years. And that is to recognise the increased pressure on budgets. And we also have some special schemes to work with councils, which are called Delivering Better Value and the Safety Valve scheme, which can help councils with their special educational needs pressure, some of which is caused by the fact they don't have enough places. So this will really help to have places closer to where the provision is needed. So there'll be capacity increases all across the country, and it will massively help councils to offer the right services. All of us want to do the right thing and offer the right services to these children.
The Association of School and College Leaders say, yeah, look, this is great. Any money is welcome. But they say there is still a huge crisis in special educational needs system. Is this injection of money an acknowledgement that there is indeed a crisis?
Oh, we've definitely acknowledged it. We have a special educational needs and alternative provision improvement plan. So you don't put that in place unless you acknowledge that you definitely need to improve it. The base reason really is there's been a massive increase in special educational needs. You know, we know how to diagnose more, we care more, we know more about how to overcome special educational needs. So that's definitely something that has changed over the last 10 years. But we've been really trying to make sure that we do the right things. That's why we're training more educational psychologists and training more specialist SENCOs and training more speech and language therapists. So there's a whole lot of actions within that. There's a change programme as well to look at how we can improve how we do EHCPs. So there's a lot of things in that plan. This is a big part of it because obviously having the right provision, having the places and having them closer to where the need is what we aim to do. And that's why 60,000 places is going to make a massive difference.
Gillian, Keegan, thank you very much indeed for joining us on Breakfast.